and I want to welcome all of you to tonight's session. We've got the district governor from District 19I, District Governor Chuck Robinson, who is going to be talking about the state of his district and his impressions, his experiences. Chuck, I invite you to. By the way, we were messing with the. You were messing with the volume earlier. Did you get that fixed?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool, good. Okay, Chuck, take it away. Talk to us.
Well, right now I don't see myself on the screen, so maybe it's supposed to be like that, but
I can see you.
oh, you can. Good. Well, I can't see myself, that's fine. Okay. Just I'd like to start off with just saying how uh 19I has embraced the redistricting as well as I've ever seen, and that I have not met one club or member within our district that's had anything but positive input about what's happened, and they may have had questions about it, what it was about, and so we had discussion about that. But moving on from that, then the main thing, what to start off with is I'd like to just recognize all the zone chairs that were within our district that were so gracious to me and helped me through everything that I needed to do and the best they could. There were some that I had to work around, but that's all right. We worked together and they came and did the jobs that they needed to do. And uh, one of them was Linda Devenish from I-1, which is she's in the Fairmont Hot Springs Club in East Kootenai, and she was really not a zone chair starting the year. And I had point because she was acting that way because she was helping me uh, set up visitations, and so I point blank asked her, and she said no. So I appointed her, and she did a fantastic job. And we went there, and they showed me around their club, and they have this property down below where their clubhouse is, and they have a community garden there. And you're probably familiar with the fact that they won the Kindness Matters Award through LCI, and they're that's the kind of things that I ran into throughout our district, is just the pride of Lionism and what they do, and they're so wanting to show it off, and I I it's not really bragging, but they're showing you what they're doing in their communities. And I find that throughout our entire district, and just the travel, it makes all the travel that we have to do in our district worth the effort when you get there to see exactly how passionate they are about being Lions. And uh, so then in my own zone here, I have Craig Booth, and he actually did I-6 and I-7. He picked up two zones and did them both and did a great job with it. And he's moving on to second vice district governor this next year, and just did a lot of great things. And of course, Bob Elliott from Penticton, who's in I-8, and he really took on the mantra of leadership training and trying to get the clubs within his zone to make sure they were taking leadership training, because I really do believe that leadership is where we're headed. We have to have leadership, or the rest of it's kind of secondary. If we don't get leaders to step up at the club levels and the district levels, then you all know we're in trouble. But and I have confidence that we're going to do that. So, but Bob's been real good guy, and he's our next year. He will be our first vice district governor. And then Shelley Sweeney in I-9, and she did a real good job. She mainly worked with Steve Sweeney, who will be our district governor, because he was doing all the clubs that I did last year. So then Sharon Kane in I-10, she was she's just, you ask her to do anything and it's headlong into it, and she's going to do everything in her power to get that done. And so I like to recognize them. And then we have Don Brush in I-11 and Kim Jensen in I-12. And then just moving on from there to just talk about how great the cabinet was for me. My cabinet, starting with our district administrator, and then working her and was Norma Bent, and moving on with our GST, which is Lori Kirkham. And without those two right there, because of the debacle we had with the portal and clubs not having officers entered and causing clubs to be almost on suspension, and those two working, the three of us working together, we actually ending up the year with all club dues are paid, all officers are entered. And so that was a very big goal, achievement for us all, because some of it was very difficult, because the only way we could find out who they were in the certain clubs is to myself get on the portal and look up past officers and start emailing and calling people, finding out who we're going to be working with. So, but we got it all done. And Lori Kirkham has just been, I couldn't have asked for a better GST. So, and then we have, of course, our leadership is Wanda Eddy, who is going to be vice council chair, and it's just all the different things within our district that anything that needed to be done and keep me on the straight and narrow, I could count on. There's so many past district governors that I could reach out to, Joe Nellis and Shelley Costello, all of these different past district governors that are Debbie Bostock, and they're all past district governors, and they have a wealth of knowledge, and they're just great people to be able to reach out to and help you through your things that are going on within your district. And but I'm very proud of our district for the clubs I go to, traveling all over the place. And just another one comes to mind is up at Cornell and the Caribou. They have a apartment building there that they built that houses probably, I'm guessing, 25 different units. And the club owns it, and they have a management team that runs it. They hire this management team to run it, but the club writes all the rules for it. And so, and I went and toured the building, and it's probably the nicest looking building in the community. So, and they have plans to build another one. So those are the kinds of things. And then I think of Armstrong, where one of the club members drove me around through the community, and they built a baseball field, state of the art stuff, and every little thing you go to in the community, the Lions Club there just stands out, and the Lions Club has their hands on it. Was at a mini mart one day, and I went in getting something. As I'm going in, I see this firewood thing sitting there where you can get a bundle of firewood, and guess who's selling that? The Armstrong Lions Club. So that's the kinds of things I run into throughout the district. Another thing is the clubs up in also in the Kootenai was Kootenai Lake Lions and Creston Lions, they share they both work together on a recycling project, and they collected over 800,000 units of recycling last year and netted $80,000 of income for their two clubs. So those are the kinds of things. It's just even the smallest clubs I go to, and they've got their fingers in their communities, and it's just it's really heartwarming to know that mantra we have of "we serve" is out there, and it's pretty much true to every club I go to. So I don't know how much more I can brag about 19I, but they are just the most wonderful bunch of Lions I know, and I have gained untold amount of friends north of the border in Canada, because we have 59 clubs and 45 of them are in British Columbia. So I had spent a lot of time in British Columbia the last couple of years. So just very proud of everybody and the jobs they do.
So you're on a first name basis there with the border crossing?
They pretty much look at my passport, because I think I crossed every border crossing from the Alberta border clear over to Vancouver, because there was always some reason to be going across somewhere. They'd look at me and go, "Man, you cross the border a lot, don't you?" I said, "Yes." And that's the other thing. We get all this stuff all the time about, "Oh, how are you being treated by the border?" It was seamless. I never once had one bad encounter ever at any border crossing. And I was just across one last week. So, and it's been fabulous. And, the Canadian people are great. And I'm very proud of them and all of our clubs in Washington. And I don't know if this is the place, but I'd like to just recognize that I don't know if anyone's heard about the tragedy at Northport, Washington, with their club president, who was he was the superintendent of schools and also the baseball coach, and he and a 15-year-old boy from that community drowned over at Long Beach, I think just before Labor Day, or not Labor Day, Memorial Day.
Wow.
Did hear
And
about
so they're going through a real tough time right now in that community. And so unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to that club just because of everything, the way it worked. But we're trying to figure out how to move forward and show our respect as a district to the people of that club in that community. It's a small community, I think about 300 people. So,
You said something earlier, Chuck, that really rang a bell with me. The way you said, when you mentioned that you didn't really look forward to the road so much, but meeting the Lions, being in the clubs was really worth the trip.
oh man, no matter how tired you are, you get there, you walk in the door, you're welcomed. And I'm maybe I do things a little different than most people, but always try to make sure that I'm early. And so when I get to the club meeting, I go in and I go around to every member and shake hands with them and speak to them and introduce myself and let them know who I am and try to get to know them a little bit. Because I've been to a lot of meetings where the district governor gets up in the front of the room and does this thing and leaves, and I just felt I wanted it to be more personal.
Well, and like you said, that's the best part.
Yes, it is.
So
absolutely the best part.
Yeah. You
The
spend 5 hours
interaction with the
driving.
members.
Right. Like I said, we don't look forward to the road, but we do look forward to being there.
That's right. Exactly. Yes. Right. Because some of my trips are, just from my home to one club is over 7 hours.
Right.
Of driving.
And it always amazes me, these small towns with Lions Club in them, the Lions Club seems to be oversized for the size of the town. They're powerful. They have a major effect in their community, and it's amazing to me.
I have to agree with that. And what was kind of shocking to me too, as even when the first year I was doing visit, was going to some of the bigger communities, and their clubs were not that big,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was shocked by that because I would go, you go to Armstrong, and it's really not that big a uh, community, but they have like 70 members, and they are in touch with everything,
yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes.
And
I've
I
seen
have to
that.
totally agree with you on
I
that.
think the other district governors would agree with you, Chuck, that the small towns with their Lions clubs are powerful and they've got it going on.
There are some exceptions to that rule, as you know, but yes, I agree.
Right.
It's
Oh, I agree. I can think of a couple of towns, small towns with small Lions clubs that only have, like Rainier's only got 6 members, and they
right,
don't do a whole lot in the community because they've only got 6 members.
right.
But then again, there's, down the road a little ways, there's Mineral Lake, a small town of 200 people, and 70 members or 70 of those people are Lions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That and it really sets you back when you look around and go, wow, look at this,
yeah. Look
you
around in
know,
the community and see the things that that club is responsible for.
right.
Right.
Well, yeah, and it's just the like Fabricio says of making your mark.
Right.
They're all doing it. That's what they're doing. They're making their mark as Lions within those communities, and I agree with you 100% that's the way it is. It's just even the smaller clubs that only have 8 members or whatever, they may not be doing a lot, but they're doing everything they can with eight
Sure.
members,
Sure.
you know.
Well, tell me, Chuck, if you were asked to be district governor again, would you do it?
Probably
Yeah.
because it was, even as tired as I am right now,
Yeah.
of course I'll be 76 years old pretty soon, so wouldn't be looking forward to doing it again, but
Yeah.
it has been a wonderful experience, and I would never, ever, ever, ever say anything negative to any other Lion about it because it is a positive experience, and it is, it's well worth your time just because the interaction with other Lions,
Mhm.
getting to see what they're doing, it's just, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I feel. It's definitely a positive experience.
Chuck, let me ask a couple of follow-on questions. Number one, following up from what Leslie asked, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I probably would make sure that I did it in three or, in the normal process of things like
Oh, yeah,
second vice, first vice, second vice, and I mean, governor, you know what I mean?
yep,
Make sure, because as you well know, I did this and I've only been 2 years into it now,
right,
and I'm going to be immediate past district governor. So,
yep,
um, so I think the third year would have made it easier because I had a lot more to do this year because of the way it fell. I
right,
had more clubs to take care of, and
yeah.
so it made it a little more rushed than you would like things to be.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, then let me ask you another. Of all the events, all of the things that you experienced, which one put the biggest smile on your face?
Okay, it's probably the excitement of talking to a club that just inducted 7 new members, and they're so proud that they did it because of and they feel they did it because of what they are doing in their communities.
Yeah.
It wasn't any magical thing. It was that we're doing this certain project in our community and people are interested in it, and that drove it, and they were so excited about it, and it just it just makes your heart feel good to know that that can happen, and all you have to do is want to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. Let me turn that question around to the other side. What challenge that you faced was the most frustrating?
uh and I don't want to be negative, but it was the Lions portal. It was
Oh,
probably the most frustrating, stressful part of the whole thing, because I had major problems with uh not being I couldn't enter any of my zones. I couldn't assign any clubs to uh, zones. I could not assign any of my zone chairs. There was such a big error in there that it would just throw up a big red flag and lock me out every time I tried to do anything. And actually, the only way I got it fixed was I finally got a hold of Alan Hunt, and he he called LCI, and next thing I know, I've got somebody on the phone that's escalating things, and they finally fixed it, and then life was a little better then. So
I like that escalated things.
yes,
Kind of interesting. One of the aspects that I've thought has always thought was interesting with Lions is that Lions clubs are hyper local. We are hyper local. We work in the local community. But
Yeah.
right.
LCI is this great big megalith.
Yeah.
They're a
So
corporation.
we can go into the club and say, oh, this thing's broken and fix it. But we go to try to deal with something with LCI and we got to leave a phone message and we might hear back from them in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just it's like an onion. There's too many layers to peel back there to get anything done, and you just kind of have to figure things out for yourself, I think. So
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Jocelyn, turn on your microphone. Talk to us. Questions for Chuck.
Well, you took all my questions.
Oh,
yeah. Gosh, we
Yeah.
must be really good, huh?
And he answered them all, so yeah, it's good. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. The I like your, and you know that I usually, whenever someone an outgoing governor is asked the question, excuse me, that if you had to do it all over again, would you do that? Most governors, overwhelmingly, most governors say yes. You know, I jump on the opportunity. I'd love to be able to do it again, which is great. But but you would think. Let me turn on my. Here you would think that with all the Lions complaining about how if they ever, and they never want to become governor because got too much traveling and too much time and da 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 da, too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. You would think that the message that the outgoing governors pass on, that it's a great experience, and I would jump at the opportunity to do it again. You would think that that would get through to a lot more people.
Right.
So and we just haven't seen that getting through to a lot of Lions, which is kind of sad.
No, I know.
Yeah. So
We are fortunate that we're going to have a full team next year, so
yeah.
which is really good. So
Yeah.
that makes, you can split that up. If you split it 3 ways, it helps a lot. So
Yep. Absolutely.
And in N, we are actually going to have a district governor that has a chance to do a do-over
oh, okay.
because our district governor, a vice district governor, had to drop out for health reasons. We had to come
Right.
up with a replacement. So Donna Murr is a past district governor, but she was district governor during pandemic. She didn't get to
Right.
go to international convention or do any of that stuff. So
Right.
she gets a do-over. She gets to go to Orlando.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is. And one of the nice things about about Donna is that she's very well organized and very goal oriented, and so I think we're going to have good results with Donna. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donna's everything I'm not. It's a pretty big list too.
Oh,
Well, at least you recognize your weaknesses.
I need to turn off the share. There we are. There we are. I forgot to turn off the share earlier. So I'm rebuilding my my collection of background pictures here, and it's kind of sad that I have to go through this, but you know that's sometimes that's what happens. Oh, here's a good one. This one is
Sometimes when you have to rebuild, you can rebuild it better.
Yeah, that's very true. I know that the collection of pictures that I never used, I'm not going to put them back in. But this one, I took this picture over in Japan. That's Mount Fuji in the background,
Mhm.
and we climbed the hillside just so that I could get shots like that, and it's very good. So I've been rebuilding my collection. That's a very old picture that I took a long time ago. That's a ferry turn on Midway Island. And oh, here's a oh, it's backwards. I gotta fix it. If you can read it, it's backwards. It says Bob's Burgers and Concrete Company.
Betty's Burgers.
Betty's Burgers, that's what it is. Betty's Burgers and Concrete Company.
Interesting.
Actual location, actual business in downtown Melbourne. I'm not sure what the concrete thing is, but yeah, it's kind of weird. So I got that one backwards. I got a bunch of them that are backwards in here. Is this one backwards? That one's
No,
backwards.
not that well from us.
That one's backwards. My blah blah blah. Okay, but I'm sorry. I'm so easily distracted. I really am. So, other thoughts or questions for Chuck? Chuck, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and conveying your thoughts, your impressions, and good and bad, and the fact that we've got this on record now. A lot of other people are going to be able to see it. It's going to be posted up on YouTube. So a lot of folks can see it, and hopefully we can learn from your experience. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the time for Leslie and Jocelyn connecting in this evening. And I hope to see you guys again soon.
All right.
All right.
Good night. See you later.
Bye, Chuck.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
No problem.